Alright, Kimbo White here. I believe I figured out how to get the audio working here on this little deal now. And I'm going to do my UFC 139 predictions. I'm going to start at the very bottom. I'm going to predict all 12 fights. Shamar Bailey is from Indianapolis, Indiana. Trains with Chris Lytle. Mainly known for his recent appearance on TUF and is predominantly a wrestler. Does not have much of a stand-up game to speak of. Danny Castillo, his opponent, on the other hand, can do both. And trains with Team Alpha Male, which, if you don't know, is about 20 just straight-up powerhouse studs in MMA, Uriah Faber and his clan. So, obviously training with a good camp, and I think has the better striking and can probably avoid takedowns. Has like a 43, 45% takedown defense, which, is good. Good enough for a guy, Shamar Bailey, who has like a 25% takedown whatever you want to call it, 25% on his takedowns. I'm gonna take Danny Castillo in that fight by TKO, and probably like second or third round or later in the fight. Shamar's tough. Probably get through the first round. Might even win the first round. I don't know. I'm going to go with my gut feeling in this next fight. I really probably should pick Seth Basinski over Matt Brown. Really, honestly, if you look at it on paper, you should go with Seth Basinski. But Matt Brown, I'm a big Matt Brown fan, and he had a couple losses there, but he just beat a tough guy in his last fight. I say it like it was yesterday. It's been a while, like a year ago, but he beat John Doomsday Howard, who's the tough customer, and showed that he's he looked aggressive in that fight. And I'm going to take Matt Brown over Seth Basinski and hope that he's been staying 100% in his training and staying focused, because I'm a Matt Brown fan. I think Matt Brown could go real far in this sport if he would stick to it and go 110% all the time. Miguel Torres versus Nick Pace. Would not go with Nick Pace in this fight by any stretch of the imagination, for any reason. And with that said, I'm not even really sure. Miguel Torres by about whatever he wants to do. And I'm going to take Matt Brown probably by TKO. That's probably going to look to be a slugfest, most likely. Because I really don't see it, honestly, in the Matt Brown fight. I really don't see the guy wanting to get to the ground too much. I really don't. They're both predominantly stand-up fighters, and that's mostly what we've seen from them. The only reason is if they want to throw a curveball in the game plan of what the other guy's thinking. I don't know. Maybe Basinski thinks that I don't know. Brown's like a brown belt in judo, so maybe one of the other guys thinks he's better on the ground, and I'll go that route. But I'm going to take Matt Brown by TKO. Miguel Torres by whatever happens, whatever comes his way. Gleison Tebow and Rafael dos Anjos. This right here is it's a hard one to pick. It really is, and I'm a fan of both guys. Dos Anjos stand up is real good, even though I know in his few of his fights that he stood with better competition, he has lost, but he's displayed very good stand-up skills. Gleison Tebow, good all-around fighter, scary guy. I was crazy to see that. I mean, I knew T-Bow had been around for a while, but it's crazy to see that he got beat by Nick Diaz back at UFC 65. That was real interesting. Um, Michael McDonald and Alex Soto. I'm going to go with McDonald in that fight. Um, Tom Lawler and Chris Weidman. Chris Weidman by a TKO. And every time I say that, Tom Lawler will come out and out wrestle somebody. So we'll see what happens. Uh, Tom Lawler's a tough customer, and I might be crazy for picking Weidman in that fight, but I just feel like he's can match the wrestling ability, and then, or at least be able to get back up, do something with the wrestling, and land some kind of strikes. Is what I'm hoping. Bader and Brills, man. Now this is interesting because to me, just looking at the fighters, not as people, but the fighters themselves, you got two guys that are nearly identical in just about every aspect of their career. They're both predominantly wrestlers, both heavy-handed guys. If you get hit by them, they'll knock you out. But neither one has great stand-up, or some people would not even say either one has good stand-up. Brill's probably being the better of the two, obviously. I don't, Bader knocked Jardine out with the wild, crazy punch, and one of his only knockouts in his career. His first couple fights, he knocked out some guys, but uh, both guys went to decision with Rogerio, with Lil Nog, uh, and both guys won by decision against Lil Nog, and both guys. Oh, my bad. My bad. I was wrong on that. Brills lost to Lil Nog by decision. So, but still, both went to decision with Lil Nog, which everybody knows is world class, has world class hands. So, the fact that both of these guys just lost their last two fights, and they both just lost their last fight by, well, pretty much by knockout. Ortiz jumped on Bader's back and tapped him out, but they both got caught in like the first 20 seconds of the fight. I guess Ortiz, it was like 2 minutes into the fight or something. But anyways, uh, they both got caught in the first round, knocked out, finished, whatever. Both coming off two losses to tough competition. Um, but before that, both went to decision with Lil Nog, and both had wins over Eric Schaefer, and both had win over another big name guy. Bader beating Jardine, and Brills beating uh, Tim Bosch. And then, really to be honest, Bader, he was pretty impressive there with the Marrero. I picked Marrero to tap him out, and he beat his ass and then knocking Vinny out. I think I picked Vinny to tap his ass out. So like Vinny and Marrero, two, you know, top level jiu-jitsu guys as good as they get, and he pounded their asses, beat Marrero senseless for the entire fight. Uh, let's see here. You look at it on paper, and to be real honest with you, it looks like Bader being the better of the two. But this is what I'm going to do in this. I keep going against myself when I have these gut feelings, and I'm going to go with Jason Brills in this fight. There it is. I'm going to go with Jason Brills in this fight by a TKO for about the second round. But by TKO. And I might be crazy for doing that, but I'm going to. Jason Brills over Bader by TKO. Yeah, Kyle Kingsbury over Stephen Bonner. Not real sure. I think Kingsbury's just going to bring it to Bonner. I think he's going to beat the tar out of him, but I might be wrong. Uh, Martin Campman and Rick Story. You know, this is a real difficult fight for me to pick, to be honest with you. It really is. And I'll tell you why. Because we got Martin Campman here. We got the Hitman, okay? You know, boxing, Muay Thai, Jiu Jitsu, submission grappling. Not much just straight out wrestling, but does train extreme couture. And he's a brown belt in Jiu Jitsu under Robert Drysdale, okay? Now, coming off two losses, but to Diego Sanchez and Jake Shields. Uh, Before that, beat Paulo Tiago, Jacob Boltman, lost to Paul Daly. Before that, beat Carlos Condit, Alexander Barros, lost to Mark Hort. Okay, now we're going back to like 2008. Okay, not the most impressive on paper, but when you watch, you know Hitman's dangerous, and you know this guy's got a good stand-up game. Now, Rick Story, he stormed on the scene and really came up real fast, faster than what most of us expected at all. And coming off the loss of Charlie Brenneman, which obviously Brenneman was a huge underdog, filled in for somebody, I believe, last minute, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, Maybe not. But anyways, before that, had the upset victory over Thiago Alves, which was just an awesome fight, an awesome slugfest. He beat Johnny Hendricks, Dustin Hazlett. Uh, the list goes on. But has had 6 fights since the early 2010, which compared to Campman, Campman has had 2, 3, 4. He's had 5 fights since January 2010. So both guys have stayed fairly active. They're fighting every few months, and both guys are dangerous on the feet. I just think that Campman wants to stand with his feet still too much. Yeah, he's a good boxer and he's got some head movement, but not like Rick Story. Rick Story is Rick Story is a good boxer. Sometimes he'll stay right there in the pocket, and that kind of scares me against Campman because one good shot from Campman, and Rick Story is going to know it. But you know, I think I'm going to have to go with Rick Story in this fight. I think he'll be fast enough to probably outpoint Campman if he can't knock him out. I'm going to go with Uriah Faber over Brian Bowles. I don't know if he'll be able to finish Bowles. And Bowles is going to give him a hell of a fight. Bowles might even win the first round. It's going to be a good one. I'll take Uriah Faber probably by decision. I maybe should go with the submission win there. But, well, I guess I'll stick to the decision. Uriah Faber over Brian Bowles by decision. Conley over Vanderlei Silva by knockout, first round. And I'm going to take Dan Henderson over Shogun Hua. And my son agrees with that too. I just think we're going to see the wrestling beat the jiu-jitsu here. It's going to end up a ground game. Henderson is going to set up a takedown and go to ground and pound Hua and probably be able to do it. And that's that. So, everybody, make sure to tune in Saturday night for UFC 139. Shogun Hua versus Dan Henderson. And Conley smoking Vanderlei Silva in about a minute. All right.